Hey everyone, it's Pearlescent Toys back in today's video with another Star Wars The Black Series action figure review. And today we're looking at the Star Wars The Clone Wars, troop builder, army builder 2-pack with the Phase 2 Clone Trooper and a B1 battle droid. Without further ado, let's open this box up. And yeah, hey everyone, remember this time in Star Wars The Black Series history when oh man, I thought I'd never see the tissue paper ever again. I'm feeling so nostalgic. And here they are out of that box. Yeah, this has been a very long time coming. We've all been wanting some army builders for the Black Series, and this is perfect, you know. Just a regular clone, a regular B1 battle droid. Which one should I look at first? I think I'm going to do the battle droid. And I say the B1 first because we've hardly gotten any of these in the past few years. I think there was one in the main line, and then just another release. I want to say it was like for the Phantom Menace 20th anniversary. Yeah, they've been few and far between. And the price of these were actually like kind of shooting up for quite some time. I remember seeing some for $30, even $35 at one point. They were getting a little too pricey, so luckily Hasbro intervened, just did a re-release. And yeah, if you own this figure already, if you own one of those previous versions, there's nothing new about this one. It's pretty much the same. There is, however, a very noticeable difference in the paint apps, starting with the legs. And yeah, you could just see already the difference. First off, the plastic is a different color for the 2-pack. You know, it's a much brighter tan. You know, this one is sort of like a newer one. This one has seen a battle or two. And then, yeah, going back to the legs, you could see like some muddy effect, some of that steel underneath like showing through. And then continuing up, yeah, you get some more brown like dirt effects. Really love those on the older one. But at the same time, I also love how clean the new one is. There's been many times where I've just been like, I should get some like nail polish remover, just remove some of that paint on the front. Because in a way, I've always kind of wanted just a basic version instead of like a battle damaged one. But yeah, the chest, you could see, yeah, same sculpting detail. Very good. You know, I've always loved Black Series and their sculpting. All their molds look fantastic. While some may not be able to pose as well, like you gotta give it up to them. Like they always go hard with the sculpts. And yeah, here's no different. It's entirely movie accurate. And then to the face sculpts, the heads, and yeah, right there is probably like the most noticeable because like, you know, you look at the face first. And yeah, there's just like damage on under the neck over here, some mud, some more dirt, like a little dent right there or something. Whereas this one, again, brand new, very clean. And then on the back, I'm trying to stand them up so they don't fall. Yeah, so for the backs, like there isn't a whole lot of detail going on for the old one. The new one, it sort of blends in perfectly because, you know, the front, there's nothing. In the back, there's nothing as well. Whereas this one has like a bunch of stuff on the front, but really not a whole lot going on the back. The first accessory he comes with is this little back piece, this antenna that attaches right here into either of the pegs, I think. Ooh, come on, there we go. Yeah, I could plug into any one, but I think it's intended to go into this one. I don't remember the droids using these in like the Clone Wars or the movies. If they did, please let me know, because yeah, I don't remember any of them having this. I remember them having this piece, like the little backpack. Yeah, and even more detail put into that. And what's cool about this is that the antennas right here are retractable, so you're able to just pull them up. And yeah, that's really neat. He also comes with the E5 blaster, the standard blaster for all B1 battle droids. And yeah, the detail is phenomenal on here as well. There is a big difference in these accessories for the older one. As you can see, this one has a dry brush silver over the top of the gun, and it's a lot more shiny compared to this one, which is like kind of flat. And the backpack has damage. Okay, so the paint apps are on the back for the backpack piece at least. For over here, it's not. But going over articulation, the head is able to move this far back, move forward this much. He has, yeah, some pivot and, of course, some side-to-side movement. His arm is able to move up this much. Doesn't really go all that way around. I thought these pieces moved, but I guess not. Yeah, so it goes up this much. It is able to go all the way around. There is an upper bicep swivel, a single jointed elbow that's able to bend in this much, and it can also go the other direction right here. And he has upper wrist rotation and then a lower wrist rotation, and your standard wrist hinge going down, up, all the way around. He's able to bend this far back, this far forward. His legs are able to go like all the way around like this, so he can go like this high or this far back, pretty much touching the back of his head. And that does have a small pivot in it, although it's not that much. He does have a single jointed knee, which bends in a really good amount due to this cut in the sculpt. You're able to tuck it in some more, and yeah, he's able to kick his high knee. And then he has ankle rotation, and his foot is able to move this far down, this far up, and he has some. For size comparisons, here is the brand new 2-pack B1 Battle Droid next to last year's Phase 2 Clone Trooper and the old B1 Battle Droid. Here they are next to a Magna Guard and a Super Battle Droid. It kind of feels wrong, him being like taller than the Magna Guard and like being just as tall as the Super Battle Droid. And I don't know, it's just my opinion. Here they are next to Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker, R2-D2 and a Clone Commando, Darwin and Morbius, Commander Gary, and the Marvel Legends Spider-Hams. Now let's take a look at the Phase 2 Clone Trooper, and this one is actually a pretty big improvement on the original. Yeah, I'll explain in a second, but out of the box, like something just like caught my eye. I just felt like something was different, but I just can't say for sure. Right here we have the 2022 version, sorry, the 2023 version that released late last year, and here we have this brand new one. Now, call me crazy, but I feel like the new one, the helmet is a little bit longer than this previous version. Like it really looks like that. It sort of feels like that. I'm like trying to find any like discrepancies between the two that would more easily like distinguish them from each other. Because like for the most part they look exactly the same. They could be exactly the same. It's just maybe the paint is different. Speaking of which, yeah, so the first version had a very, very thin line going across the top right here, whereas this newer one has the thicker line going across the brow. You know, I love this because it's like, I feel like this is much more accurate than the super, super, super thin line that we got over here. Is it painted? Yeah, like the whole thing just isn't painted in, at least for this version. Maybe I just got a bad one, who knows. But other than that, there is also one other key difference, and it's this little vent piece right here. It's painted in on the Army Builder, whereas the old one, the single release, it is not, which is kind of insane because even at the marked up price of $44.99 for the Battle Pack, it is still $2 cheaper than what these ones were retailing for. So yeah, for $2 less, $2 to $5 less, depending on where you buy it, you're getting more paint apps and a better looking helmet, which is sort of wild. I actually said in my top 10 Black Series figures of all time that this figure is my favorite, but I don't know. This one is very much the better Phase 2 out of these guys, just for that added painted bonus and the helmet just looking a lot better this time around. Yeah, I am definitely loving this figure a lot more right now. And don't get me wrong, this one is still good. I'll like put them in the back of the shelf, but like the ones I want like front and center, I'll have the Army Builders up there. And here's a quick look at the back of each figure. Again, the Army Builder on the left and the single release on the right. Now, one thing I'm excited to find out is if the head sculpt is better. So, here is the single release, which isn't bad per se, but like I'm just not that big of a fan. I really don't like that 5 o'clock shadow. It looks pretty bad. Let's see if this one is an improvement. And yeah, he honestly is. So for the most part, like the sculpt is exactly the same. He has like the same scarring too here, whereas like this one actually like the scarring kind of looks natural, and over here without that 5 o'clock shadow, it does look a lot more like Tamura Morrison. Here it's just like I don't know. That this one is like kind of bad. The eyes too are also like better painted, whereas this one is a little sort of dark. Like this one, you can see like the brown in his eyes, and the eyebrows aren't so shiny. Whereas over here, they're like oiled up. And the skin tone is also pretty different, with this one being a lot more duller, whereas this one is more lifelike. Honestly, this looks like an actual head. Yeah, I'm definitely loving this army builder one more. Again, if I have any clones that I want to take the helmets off, I'll like scoot him all the way to the back and then have these ones front and center. He also comes with a DC-15S blaster and the longer DC-15A. And here is a quick comparison with those single releases. The only difference is that this one is just a tad bit darker, but only barely. Without the helmet, he's able to look this far up, this far down. He has side-to-side movement and some pivot, being able to move his head side to side. But now with the helmet, he's able to look this far up, this far down. He also has side-to-side movement and some pivot right there. His arm is able to move up this much, a really good amount right there. And it also is able to twist all the way around with the elbow pad, the shoulder pad being able to move with the arm itself. And I believe he also has a butterfly shoulder joint in there, allowing his arm to move. Moving the whole thing. Move this far back and this far forward. Really good butterfly shoulder joint there. He also has an upper arm swivel, as I just learned like a week ago in my, the 501st like Lieutenant and 332nd clone 2-pack. I just found out that these clones have that. That's really neat. He also has a single jointed elbow, which bends in this much, and is also able to rotate right there. And here's your standard wrist hinge going up, down, all the way around. Although on this hand, it's sort of in a different motion. It goes like that. He's able to bend this far back, this far forward. He also has some side-to-side movement right there at the diaphragm and some pivot. And his leg is able to kick out this far. If you don't move the knee at that knee joint, then he's only really able to kick up this far, but you can rotate it at the upper thigh joint and get some more range like that. He's also able to go this far to the side and a tiny bit back. He has a single jointed knee that is also able to rotate, and it bends in about that much. And then his foot is able to move this far down, this far up, and he has I should start doing widest stance possible. I think that's something Glenn Webb used to do. Yeah, here it is. For size comparisons, here is the brand new Phase 2 Clone Trooper next to the previous version of the Phase 2 Clone Trooper and the old B1 Battle Droid. Here he is next to a Magna Guard and a Super Battle Droid. Here they are next to Ahsoka Tano and Anakin Skywalker. R2-D2 and a Clone Commando. Darwin and Morbius. Commander Gary. And the Marvel Legends Spider-Hams. Alright, time for my final rating, my overall thoughts. I think I'm going to give the B1 Battle Droid a 9 out of 10. You know what? I'm honestly feeling that it is a 9 out of 10. Absolutely love the sculpt. Obviously, the articulation isn't that good. Given the character design, I understand why it isn't as great as, say, like the Clone Trooper here. But it still does the best it can while also being able to do some pretty cool poses. And those accessories are a very welcomed inclusion. Love the antenna, even though I don't remember them having that single antenna. This one, I mostly remember them having like this one right here. Ooh, actually, he's in rest mode. Those antennas should be down. There we go. That's better. Yeah. What was I saying? Right, the antennas. Yeah, and those being retractable too. I get that this is a pretty old figure. I think it came out in 2019 or 2018, one of those years. But it still holds up. It is still great. Next up is the Phase 2 Clone Trooper. And what did I give him in my previous review? I think I gave him like a 10 out of 10. Honestly, this is an 11 out of 10. I'm going to pull another Dave Meltzer here. I'm going to circumvent my rating system, out of 10. I'm going 11 out of 10. That's just how much fun I have posing this figure around. Yeah, it could be just my bias leaking into it just because I've loved the Clone Wars so much. But, honestly, it is just a perfect representation of a clone trooper, both from the animated series and live action. It's just that perfect blend of the two, and that's what I love the most about it. And of course, this one, just having some updates to that previous version with a thicker brow. I really want to say a newer helmet, but I can't say for sure. And of course, that little vent piece being painted in, which is just a really small detail that most people would overlook, but for me, that just means the world. So yeah, the Phase 2 Clone Trooper gets an 11 out of 10. But yeah, that'll do it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. Anything you can do that'll support the channel will be greatly appreciated. Check the description down below because I will have a playlist to more Star Wars The Black Series video reviews. Some top 10s in there. I just released my top 10 favorite Star Wars The Black Series figures of all time, so please go check out that video. I mean, one of these figures might be on the list. I'm not going to say who. It's the Clone Trooper. But yeah, with all that said, I will see you in the next one. Bye. There is a noticeable difference. Now